Happy Father's Day. With Michael Keaton back on the big screen this weekend, we thought we should visit or revisit for some of us his role as a stay at home dad in Mr. Mom. To celebrate the day with us, we welcome back Matt's brother in law, Steve.
How is everyone?
I'm Matt.
I'm Chad, and you're listening to the 112th episode of We Used to Talk About This at Work. So, Matt, this week, we also really need to acknowledge, Juneteenth. Black people and slavery. Like, don't you remember back in, it felt like it was yesterday, 2020, when, we were at the, another powder keg in this country of, black people being murdered just for existing. And we were like, can we please pass some legislation to stop this? And government was all like, y'all want a day off work? And we was like, that's not what we want.
But we'll accept it though.
Right. So, Steve, you got some Juneteenth plans, man?
Not this year, at least.
Not this year. I mean, I am surprised you're saying that because, like, we're Instagram friends, and you and Laura are always doing something. Like, it feels like she's always got some stuff planned.
Yeah. Usually, it's like some sort of trip or something. But I think this year I'm gonna have to swing over to the in-laws as they go out of town to watch their new puppy. So,
Oh, yes,
not really
the Puffy saga.
Yes, not really doing doing too much around that time.
Right, I got you. All right, so this week you have prompted us with a list type situation.
Right.
So why don't you walk us through that?
So it really was like I was listening a little bit to the Mother's Day episode, and you guys touched on kind of like who are the best mothers, worst mothers, that sort of thing, and like movies, TV, stuff like that. So I want to see what you guys thought about. And this list is actually from BuzzFeed.
Ooh. So are we going to like judge the list that they wrote, or do you want us to actually list some stuff?
I mean, either and or. I guess after this list, see who you guys would think would be the best and worst dads in like TV, movie.
Okay.
Like fictional, non-fictional sort of situation.
All right. So how many people are on the list?
So this list has 22, and it's actually I found this one.
We not saying 22 names.
No. We ain't no. I'm thinking maybe like top 3, 5, something like that.
All right.
Something real short.
Okay. Well, what do they have? What is their top 5?
This one is a little off to the side, if you will. 22 incredible TV and movie dads who helped raise us.
Okay.
So for their number 5, they have Jim Hopper from Stranger Things.
Okay. I mean,
Carl,
did he really help raise us? That's a newer show.
Right. I don't know. I mean, it's BuzzFeed. This came out last year, so who knows?
No,
really.
some Gen Z person wrote that.
Right. Maybe raise some of us.
Yeah.
Who aren't on this podcast, but I think it's closer to the top 4 who more raised us on this podcast. Number 4 is Carl Winslow. Number 3 is Phil Dunphy from Modern Family.
Okay, I mean that's newer, but okay.
It's newer, but still.
Yeah, I accept.
Not one of the Stranger Things lines.
Right.
Hal Wilkerson from Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Bryan Cranston's
Okay.
I mean, I think everyone can agree with the number 1 with being Uncle Phil.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying yes.
When I saw you put this on the outline, that was the first person that jumped to mind.
Yeah,
But
I thought it was either him or Danny Tanner
oh yeah, I can
because
see him.
he had like the nickname of like America's Dad and
Hmm.
stuff like that. So
I
yeah,
can
I would say
I can
those
see
two.
him being maybe in that list is like maybe top 15,
Hmm.
just because like it's an older show, you know.
Right.
Well, I feel like Bryan Cranston should be on there for another one of his roles. Uh, from Breaking Bad, but you know.
Yeah,
Mm.
probably on the. I don't know. You could almost put that as good and bad for that one. I mean, he had good intentions.
Right.
Not really the best way of doing it, but
Not a very clean execution. But no, I got you. Dads. I don't know, like I that list kind of really like sums up like some of the good ones though. Like I just said Breaking
right.
Bad as a joke, but it's
I
like
couldn't. I couldn't really find a good one
yeah.
for Bad Dad. I mean, you have the Peter Griffins
Mm.
in there.
Oh,
You,
Homer Simpson.
I seen him on a lot of good ones.
It depends on what season, because like early Simpsons, he's a really good dad, but as the
Right,
show keeps going, he gets like dumber, and so he gets like
right.
really insensitive. Oh, any father from Game of Thrones.
Actually, they had Ned Stark on Who Helped Raise Us.
Okay, I was thinking more of the Lannister one.
Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah, that guy sucks. Where would you
You
put
got.
Al Bundy?
I was gonna say Al Bundy. He's
Mm.
he's probably the worst if you really break it down and think about it.
Is he
I
though?
never really watched that show a lot. I don't know if he's good or bad.
I mean,
I
I've
would
seen
say he's in
clips
the
of it.
middle.
It's not great either way though.
um. Oh, good one, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Which which one?
Robin.
Like which? Okay, Robin or
No, Robin.
Pierce? Because they make Robin, come out to be the bad guy in reality.
Okay. Well, I'm going from my
He's dressing
memory.
up as
I
okay.
haven't seen that movie in a long time. Maybe he is the
But
bad guy. I mean, I
Yeah,
you've heard that
that's what I.
conspiracy, right?
say it again.
Well, I believe it. The conspiracy that he was a bad guy in there, where instead of him just taking up his responsibilities, he kept, doing stuff with the job, and instead of him just going ahead doing the job and obey by the court order rules and everything, do what he's supposed to do. Well, he does do that, but then he also comes up with Mrs. Doubtfire and everything, and then um, Pierce Brosnan, is that
Yeah.
his name?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then he's just a guy coming in, just, he meets this woman, she accepts her kids, and then her ex-husband is trying to break up the thing. So he is kind of bad at it.
I mean,
and
a lot
and
of
Pierce is the
those,
good guy.
like, I'm just gonna say '90s because that's really when we were watching those. Like a lot of those '90s, my parents are divorced movies. I want them back together. Like they paint like the new boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever as the villain, but like they aren't. Like Parent Trap, where those girls were
Right.
basically torturing that woman that was gonna marry the dad. And it's like, why?
Mm-hmm.
Your parents broke up for a reason.
Well,
So I don't know. This is us looking back at it with like adult eyes, but like kid eyes, you're like, yeah, yeah, that guy sucks just because he's trying to, be a good stepdad. Ill.
Right. Right.
But no. So Matt, you going back to college?
no, I seen this, like in school or reflection, people have the conversations of, I wish they would have taught this in class or in school, or like taxes, paying
Mm-hmm.
taxes,
Yeah.
and other stuff like that. But I found one school that teaches something I did not know, but something I will greatly appreciate now. Like one thing I miss about being at home is like Ira barbecuing and
Mm.
doing briskets and things like that to where hamburgers, hot dogs, steak, ribs. Now we're at my limit now. But Texas A&M University offers a class on Texas barbecue that teaches a
Ooh,
history of barbecue, cooking methodology, flavors and seasonings, and different types of barbecue. And the class is offered in the fall and held on Friday afternoons. And I'm like, I would love to be in that class.
that sounds cool.
That would be very interesting to take.
Yes.
Hmm. But also, are you trying to get up at 4 a.m. to get that brisket ready? Because
Sometimes,
brisket is a all day affair.
right. See, I don't, mate, yeah. I mean, because I don't know enough about like smoking things and stuff like that. But if it was all day thing on like a Saturday or something, I'll do it.
It sounds like it's an all day thing on Friday.
Right.
But no, that does sound pretty dope. I wonder if there is something similar to that here. Maybe at a culinary school or something, I guess.
Right. I mean, they should do more of this to where like instead of like a whole culinary school is just, hey, teach me how to do pasta or teach me barbecue or teach me something like that to where you don't have to learn everything. You just want to learn the specific thing.
That's TikTok, man. TikTok. Like that's where I get like
Basically,
all of my recipes and it's free. And you can
I've gotten
also
some
like
stuff off of there.
yeah, and then you can also like watch it as they do it and stuff. So I mean, that's taught me so much and I'm appreciative of that. What are you all's thoughts on Fast 10?
um, it is a fast movie. It's fine for what it is, but the major thing that I took out of this is like for White Man Can't Jump, I gave Tiana Taylor her props on her acting.
Mm-hmm.
I love Jason Momoa in this. He
Mm.
like I love that. I love him in this. I love that. I think like if we was going to do well, speaking of the later run, if there was like a multi-universe for DC movies, I want to see Jason Momoa cast as Joker.
Okay, that was going to be my criticism. He's basically playing the Joker in that movie.
Right. I like that. I liked. You see what happens when you take an actor and he plays something a little bit different than you normally see him in. I enjoy stuff like that. But when you have an actor and it's the same thing over and over again, that gets tiresome. Even though like it is reminiscent of the Joker, I still appreciate that he went out there trying something new, getting something out of his element. You're not getting any Aquaman vibes from him. You're getting something totally different, and I
and he
appreciate that,
and
Jason.
he is playing like like a villain, not like, oh man, I have a tragic backstory villain. Like, no, he's a bad guy.
Right, and I appreciate that. But um, one thing I maybe um not clear eyes, but maybe I just never really focused on it before. But watching this now, I'm like all the CGI is coming out to me like
Yeah,
point blank, like all the cars and explosions and everything else like that. Like that is like vividly, and I'm all here for the car antics, what cars can do and what they can't do, and I suspend my
there's
disbelief.
nothing those cars can't do. If you recall, car is shield against bomb or fire. Car, yeah. Oh wait, Steve,
Right,
did you see
and
this movie?
also
I don't
just
want to
well, just
spoil
I
it
like
for you.
have no, I have not. But please go ahead. We were actually going to watch it um, tonight or tomorrow, but
Okay, I thought you
no, it's
see.
fine.
I thought you would have seen it because like Laura's a fan, so that's why I was like, oh yeah, all
Right?
three of us.
Yeah. I mean, with being a dad and two kids, you got to find a little bit of time. Go to
No,
like the movie.
no, I
But
understand. I
oh yeah,
understand.
it was definitely on the plan. Coming up. So
Okay, okay.
but like I get it. Just like there's a line he says is, I took everything from you. And he's like, Toretto was like, but you didn't take my car. And then the car did some crazy thing. But I get all
Did it
that.
transform? I've seen that
Ca-
before.
It
ca-
did.
Okay.
cars are superheroes. I get that. But it was just like, when he lifted that car up with his one hand, and I was just like this.
Man.
I was just like, all right. So we just live in a fictional world. I mean, we already
Yeah.
lived in a fictional world with cars, but I'm just like, and then like the timeline runs together. I know it's 5 years after five. So like when they bring these characters back and like I don't I don't know, like am I supposed to be happy that these characters are back?
Oh, like random character at the street race.
No, like when they brought back when Jason Statham come in and him and Han are angry at each other. I'm like, am I supposed to remember why they're angry at each other? Or when they
Oh,
bring Gal Gadot back and I'm like,
wait, you
is
died?
this how they well, I remember her dying, but I'm like, is this is not how they met? I'm like, I'm confused on the timeline and how these people know each other now. And maybe I didn't see the last one because Brie Larson in this,
No,
I was like, is
she's
this
new.
new?
She's
Oh,
Mr.
okay.
She's Mr. Nobody's daughter that came out of nowhere.
Because I was like, I have no recollection of this or nothing like that. So it was honestly, I liked how they pieced this together, like with the past. But couldn't they just done this now?
No, like it was all set now. Like the only thing that was in the past was just the stuff with Momoa, like at the very beginning, and
No, it's
then
not now because Gal Gadot and she's dead. So how is she in the back now? Like
no, she's
I'm
back
confused.
because she fell out of a plane, Matt, but you didn't see her body. Just like Han got blown up in a car, but you didn't see his body. It's now.
Did she come back in 9 or did she come back on this one?
No, she came back. She's back in 10.
Oh.
But like they're just playing fast and loose because like death doesn't matter anymore. Like
Right.
I put money on this. By the 12th movie, they're gonna bring back Vin Diesel's baby mama, even though she was shot point blank in the head.
Also, I liked how John Cena's character died in this movie, and
Hmm.
I was like, yeah, John Cena was like, I ain't gonna be in no fucking movie as a Rock.
Oh, that's funny. I mean, from what I understand, The Rock isn't necessarily going to be in the next one. They're gonna do Hobbs and Shaw 2 instead.
Uh,
That's what I hear.
I heard that him and
Vin Diesel.
yeah, thank you.
Hmm.
Like cleared the air between each other, and he will be in the next one.
I mean,
That's just what I heard. Who knows?
The Rock had no choice but to come over to Vin Diesel's house with humble pie, and he's like, "Hey, man, hat in hand, Shazam didn't really work out for me. They canceled my TV show. I really need some help, brother."
I think he's doing
uh-huh.
okay still.
I mean, the people have spoken. We don't want to see that shit.
And then you got the live action Moana coming out.
Oh my god, who is that for? Who is that for? Oh, Rachel
I don't
sent
know.
me a thing today. They're remaking The Hunchback of Notre Dame with Gal Gadot and Chris Evans.
What?
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. For the audio listeners, we are all frowning.
all right.
Who's
If
gonna play
I
Quasi?
Josh Gad.
Who's that?
He played Olaf in Frozen, and did you see that movie with Kevin Hart where you hire him to be your groomsman?
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that guy.
yeah,
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah.
I guess if I remember to do this or I care about this later on, let me just go back into what do they call it, the golden age of Disney, and
Hmm.
let me see which ones they haven't done a live action for, and then I'll pick
I
which one they should do a live action of.
I mean, they're
I was
working on
actually
her.
just thinking that.
I mean, we know we can do that now. Like, we know that they're working on Hercules, and if you recall, it's TikTok inspired. But it started with Little Mermaid, and so we've already gotten that. Oh, wait, it's not the Golden Age. It's the Renaissance.
Yeah, Renaissance.
So they already did Beauty and the Beast. They did Aladdin. They can't do Pocahontas because the climate does not support that. They did Lion King. I'm sure Tarzan is coming.
They
Don't
could
they already
pull
have a
that
live
off,
action
yeah.
Tarzan?
I mean, so the thing is, like, Tarzan's like a famous book, so like lots of people do their own interpretations of it, but we haven't gotten the Disney live action Tarzan.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's all we got so far. But I, I, I can't remember when I said this, but we as millennials have been asking them to do a live action remake of Atlantis for over 20 years, and they refuse to do it.
Right. Atlantis, Road to El Dorado.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, we want to see like fun adventure movies, and also technically those aren't musicals. So, well, Road to El Dorado is, but you get what I'm saying.
Right, right.
So like, there's less room for error, because like part of the problem is like, okay, cool, we're doing these musicals, and let's look at Hunchback for example. Josh Gad can sing. He has a Tony Award. He has a Broadway background. Can Chris Evans sing? Can Gal Gadot sing? Like, what are we?
We know.
Oh,
we know
yeah, you're
Gal
right.
Can't
You're right.
because,
You're right. You're right.
That back in, remember with COVID when she sang
Imagine.
Imagine with
Yeah.
like 20 other people? I was like,
Yeah.
oof.
So it's like, I hear you. You do want to put names in these, but it's like, if you're remaking a musical, like, this isn't like the old days of musicals where you'll have the actor, the face, and then you'll hire like some singer to do it.
Mhm.
You know, like, they're making the actors sing. Why are you casting? I don't want to hear Chris Evans butcher a song.
Right.
Did Esmeralda sing in the Disney one?
I feel like, I can't remember, but I
I
feel like
don't-
she would have.
Because if she didn't, fine. Okay, perfect. And we know Chris Evans is going to play
The captain dude.
yeah, he didn't sing either.
He didn't? Okay, it's been a while since I've seen them.
I can tell you, the only two he sang was that
The
like
priest
his,
dude.
yeah, and Quasi. There may have been someone else. I'm not 100%, but I know for sure those two sang.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm not even sure if I've seen this movie.
So they may get away with it.
Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna really research it. I'm just gonna go with what you said, Steve, because it's like, I'm gonna see it just because at this point this is our job. But but I don't support this. Like, what happened to, I thought that, I feel like it was the first one, or maybe one of the first ones they did was Maleficent, whatever. Like, we're gonna do a live action remake of a Disney movie, but we're gonna do it from a different lens, of here's Sleeping Beauty from the bad guy's perspective.
Right.
Why? I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I didn't like the movie, but I thought that was interesting. But now we're just doing shot for shot remakes, and we sprinkle in some new songs that everybody hates.
Right.
Right.
They did do 101 Dalmatians also, like in '99.
Yeah, with
Glenn Close.
Yeah. I remember liking it as a kid, but I tried to rewatch it before we did our was it Cruella? What's the one with Emma Stone?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I couldn't get through it. It was too childish. Like, it was definitely made for kids. So, I've been going to the movies a lot lately, and I've been noticing something, and I'm curious for you, Steve. When you guys go to the movies, when you're able to get out, do you pre-buy your tickets on the app or do you go to the box office?
Yeah, we'll pre-buy them.
Right. I thought that that was a thing people just did because like seats are like assigned now, so you want to make sure you get a good seat.
Right.
But like I've been going to the movies a lot as of late, and I've just been seeing so many people at the box office paying for tickets right there, picking their seats, and I'm like, what are you doing? It's not old people; it's like young teens and stuff. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's
I
what I was
know
going to
y'all.
ask. Is it older people or? I mean,
No, it's
I would even say people our age too. You
yes,
know, but
it's
not
it's quite a spectrum.
younger.
Yeah, I'm
I
very,
was I
I'm
was about to say maybe they were like it's a spur of a moment thing, but then still like on the drive over there, you'll be like, let me pick my seats.
right, and it's like we live in a time where like 99% of the population has a cell phone. Like I don't understand what's happening here.
Nah,
And
neither do I.
and then it's like
You know
you're
what?
what's up?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm like maybe you got a theory. Cause I'm like you're running the risk of like sitting in like the second row of the theater.
Like if there was a way to, I don't know, I've been to a theater in the States, but before you had to like you had to go to the concession stand and pick your food, right? If
Hmm.
there was a way to just be doing on the app,
No,
I'll
you
do
can.
that.
You can.
Yeah, you can.
Hmm.
Okay.
It depends on what chain you go to. If you go to AMC, you tell them what your seat number is, and they'll bring it to you. And if you go to Marcus Theaters, you just pick it up at the counter when they send you the alert.
Okay, yeah. Less human interaction, the better.
Hmm.
Right. Well, I can't for some reason think of the name. What's that? Alamo. Matthew,
Mm.
your brother will die for Alamo is what it sounds like, and he said that like Shadow said, they bring everything to your seats. Like they'll bring you the menu, they'll bring
Yep.
you everything, and then it could be
Mhm.
like right at the good part of the movie. Here you come seeing someone bringing a
Yeah.
whole plate of nachos or whatever to your seat. Yeah, it's gotten pretty far in advancement with it at this
I'll
point
I'll
from where
I'll
it
take a
was.
walkthrough. Right. Yeah.
Have you excuse me, have you not been to the Draft House yet, Steve?
No.
It's an experience. Like I'd say at least check it out once. But like you're right though. Like if you order in the theater, most depending on when you order it, they are bringing the food when the movie's going. They are going to bring you the bill before that movie ends. So like
Yeah.
it could be like some crazy stuff happening. They're like, "Sir, here's your bill. Give me your card. You sign right here." But like no, the food is really good. Like they've got like interesting menus and like some
Mhm.
things like revolve and I would say at least check it out once. But you know.
Yeah, I think we've done that at an IMAX here. I think it was one out in Wentzville that they had it,
Okay.
and we did it one time. I mean, it was cool for what it was.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, it's just food in a theater, right?
exactly.
Yeah. But I did want to touch on a couple things that I forgot in my Transformers review. So I get there. The movie starts at 7. Excuse me, and I get there about like maybe 6:20 because I had planned to like get popcorn and stuff. And I'm in line, and it's just filled with kids, young kids, with their parents just letting them run amok, touch on stuff. Some kid like was rubbing on my leg, and I'm like, okay, please
Mm.
stop, kid. And like I'm like looking at, I'm like, I don't know which one of these adults is your parent. What is happening here? Like stuff's all messy and stuff. Cause like some of the slightly bigger kids, they're doing too much at the like fill your own soda or slushy machine. And I'm just like, I don't like this. And it seemed like everybody was going to see Spider-Man, and so I'm like, I really want to see it a second time, but like I don't want to be in the same theater as these people, and school's out now,
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so
Hmm.
I don't even know when to go.
That's I hate kids in movie
Yeah.
theaters. It was like when I went to go
Yeah.
see The Flash, it was just kids in there talking and stuff, and it was just like, yeah, I hate that. They need an adult only show.
Some theaters do that, but
Yeah,
but also what theaters like? We don't. What theaters like? Less money, please.
right.
And but also like it's funny you mentioned that. Like, so when I saw The Flash, when I was leaving, it was like a 10 o'clock showing, or it was like close to 10, and people were bringing their small children in, and I'm assuming they were going to see Spider-Man. It's like 10 p.m. Like,
They,
what are we doing?
right, right,
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm not even going to an adult movie at 10 p.m.
Right.
because I,
right.
but fully out there, I will probably fall asleep no matter what movie it is when it's that late. When if you remember, we would always go on Thursdays to the midnight show for the openings, and we would be up all night after that. But now,
yeah, different stage of life.
absolutely. I mean, like I said, I'm falling asleep now by 10 p.m. on the couch every day. And like Matthew's brother,
Every day.
like, well, is every day. And Matthew's brother is like, well, is old Grandpa still awake, or did he fall asleep for the night?
Hey, that's
I'm
harsh.
like, hey, I'm awake. Don't worry about it. I'm awake.
Yeah, nah, I'm with you on that, Steve. Like, I can't be going to the movies all late and stuff. I gotta have like 6 cups of coffee during the movie to hopefully stay awake. But
imagine if you going to a 10 p.m. showing to watch the new Avatar movie. You're gonna be out till 1 o'clock.
Nope.
Did you go see it at 10 p.m.?
No.
Okay, I was like, whoa, when did you go see it?
Right, I was like, good for you.
I'm like, nah, dog. Like, I was looking at getting some tickets early for Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer, and then I looked at the runtime, and it's like over 3 hours long, and I'm like, what? Are you serious?
All right, let's take a pause right here because I know we're gonna do the movie review, but I was gonna say I appreciate a good 90-minute movie, and I know how these days we want to do more. In your honest opinion, why are they making these movies longer?
Because the directors don't want to cut anything.
I mean, but go back
These
to Christopher
movies
Nolan.
don't need
You
to be
almost
that
have to
long.
expect that.
Say it again, Steve.
That you almost have to expect it being that long for Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, I mean, he is like an artist.
You know, right? Like, what you're expecting depending on who directed it.
Yeah, like
No
Christopher Nolan, was that James Cameron? Somebody else had like a 3 hour movie too in the last couple months.
I can't remember. Let me know if it did come out in theaters, but I thought it was just a Netflix thing. The Irishman, wasn't that like 3.5, 4?
Yeah, it was just on Netflix. But the
like
funny thing is, if Martin Scorsese would have just like been cool, they could have made that a TV miniseries.
Right, because all this stuff don't need to be this long.
No, I agree.
When now I look to see how long these movies are going to be, and that dictates like if I decide to watch it right now or not, depending on what I got going on.
Are you talking about theater
I might
movies?
not have 3 hours to 2.5 hours. Oh no, I'm talking about like at home and stuff like that.
Okay,
but theater movies, not. I mean, I'm going to see it no matter what. It's up to them to keep my attention and everything like that. So, but with Avatar, like I don't want to feel like this movie is still going on. So if they can keep
you keep looking at your watch.
Right. And so if
like
they can keep my attention.
And now what?
Right, because like when I watched Avatar, I was like, this is still going on. Like twice throughout that movie, I'm like, oh, we about to wrap this up, and no, it just kept going. But if you can keep me involved and I don't realize that it's been 2 hours, good on you.
I agree wholeheartedly with you. Like, it's kind of funny how like just speaking for myself, coming up watching TV and stuff, we had like these 22, 25 episode seasons, and I'm like, me personally, as somebody that loves TV, I'm like, cool, but can we get this shorter? And then we started to transition to 13 episode seasons, and I'm like, okay, but we still got a little filler. And then we started to drop down to like 6 or 8 episodes here, 6 or 8 episodes in a show. And I'm like, cool. Why is this so long? Can we get this down to 2 hours? Can we just make this a movie? Can we just do that?
Damn.
Uh-huh. Would you rather have a 20 episode season, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever? Or would you rather have a 8 episode where each one is like 54 minutes?
I mean, that's still less time though.
I'd rather have a shorter episode with more episodes. Because 40, I don't have sometimes I don't have a whole hour to devote to one episode of this.
I hear that. You're looking at this from an anime lens, which respect. But like every time you're
actually, I was thinking of a live action that because everybody keeps telling me to watch the night. What is that? The show on Netflix, the night
manager
something.
Night night recruit, night agent.
Yeah, whatever that one is. People keep saying it, and I'm just like, it's like 54 minutes per episode, and I don't have time for that.
But it's not like another one is stop it.
Yeah, the night agent, and also the diplomat. Like those are. I'd rather them be like 30 minutes, and then I can get through one. Because I don't like stopping in the middle of an episode. Because when I do come back, I'm like, "What's going on again?" So I try to finish an episode.
So like part of my thing with these long, a show with maybe 30-minute runtime, but like 24 episodes, is because they aren't gonna just all be about that. A lot of the times there's filler, and it's like, I don't care about this other stuff. If it's not integral to the plot, I don't care that this character likes this other person. Mm-hmm. I'm just here to see you stop the wizard or whatever the main plot is,
Right.
And so that's what I don't really care about with these really long seasons, because they're like, we gotta fill this time.
And I mean, I really think it just depends on if the show interests you. I mean, you'll have no problem sitting through like a 54 minutes, an hour show, say Game of Thrones, for example. If, it piques your interest the entire time, that 54 minutes, an hour is going to go by quick. And then 4 episodes later, you're up until 1 a.m., still not even tired because you just sat through 4 episodes, wasted 4 hours every night, and you didn't even realize it.
But also, like, I feel like the quality of writing is different on, like, say, I'm not even going to compare Game of Thrones to anything, but like a 1 hour show. No, I'm not knocking you, but I'm just like a 1 hour show with 8 episodes compared to like something like I'm not dumping on it, but like a NCIS or something like that, where like they've got like 25 episodes in the season. Like, I feel like the quality of writing is different because they aren't stretching themselves thin to hit that however many episodes we got to hit.
Right.
Because I don't know, like, when the last time you wanted to binge a show with that many episodes, like binge it.
No,
I think the last one we had was like Modern Family, and that was obviously a while ago.
Right.
So
I think it hits differently
been a while.
When it's a comedy type of show, to where it
doesn't matter. Right. That's not. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's not like one long story.
Right. So it's easier for you to just be like, let me just watch all of this all the way through, versus where, with other shows, you gotta. I'm saying there's a point to it, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm trying to say. There's a plot and things like that, so you have to, focus on it, I should say.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm with you.
But I just went to Netflix to look up that show, and I haven't been on Netflix in a very long time. They have it looks like a lot of interesting stuff on there. Maybe I need to.
What's piquing your interest?
There's a cartoon called "This World Can't Tear Me Down."
Never heard of it.
There's a boxing. What is this? It looks like Korean called Bloodhounds. Arnold Schwarzenegger has a documentary.
Oh, he's got
Oh,
a
I got
TV
super.
show too.
Okay.
Mhm.
Super Pets is on here.
I feel like that's a Japan thing.
The year I started masturbating.
Go on.
Uh, in this raunchy comedy, a woman must reevaluate her life when her partner breaks up with her just before her 40th birthday. Oh, this is a movie that came out last year.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, I haven't been out. Oh, they have old on here. Okay. Maybe watch some things.
I'm mildly intrigued by this masturbating movie. Looks like it's Swedish.
Oh,
Hmm.
I would say it's got to be some sort of foreign film.
I mean, it does say that there's nudity, so I'm here for it. But I'm assuming this is a comedy. Oh yeah, yeah, it's a comedy, Swedish comedy. Interesting. I might get back to you guys on that one. No, I just want to throw out there real quick about Transformers. The music is like amazing. Like it's all '90s hits, hip hop hits. Excellent music. There was a bit at the beginning that pissed me off. A bit at the end, sorry, where you guys remember that episode of Rick and Morty where they go to Purge World,
uh-huh.
and at the end they had those like I wouldn't say mech suits, but those like Iron Man type suits.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Uh-huh.
They do that in this movie. I'm like, please stop. Why are we doing this? This looks ridiculous in live action because it's like his head exposed, and then his body is clearly CGI, and it's like, what are guys? Yeah, yeah. The Transformer CGI is flawless, but this looks stupid on him. But go see it. It is good though. Zelda Talk. Steve, are you playing Zelda?
You know what? I'll be completely honest with you.
Oh no, Steve, don't say what
You,
I think
you
you're
ready
about to
for this?
say. No,
Yeah, I'm
Steve, don't
probably
say
gonna
it.
say, yeah. Okay. Full disclosure, I'm not really into like the mission games.
Oh, okay,
So
that's not as bad as what I thought you were gonna say. Okay.
the no, this is probably going to be what you think I'm going to say. The last Zelda I played was
Okay.
Link to the Past for Super Nintendo. That is the very last one that I played.
How
Like I
old are
said,
you, Steve?
I'm not really in 36.
Okay. Okay, so we're the same age. Interesting. Okay.
Like I
Okay,
said, I'm
just to
not
add to
really
that,
too much into those mission, sort of things. I'm more into like the sports games.
Okay.
Always
What
been like that. Don't know why.
what were you gonna say, Matt?
before Breath of the Wild, the last Zelda I played was Legend of Zelda with the gold cartridge.
On any What the heck is happening here?
Nice.
What are we doing?
We're staying with the
I didn't.
classics that work. That's what we're
I,
doing.
that because I didn't have a Super Nintendo. I didn't have a Nintendo 64 and any other that stuff. Because the only
Okay.
time I'm like my friend had a Nintendo 64, so I would go with them, and that's when I learned about Super Smash and things like that.
Okay.
But as a kid, we never had that. So
Okay.
Yeah, I had to save up my money for the Super Nintendo and pay for it by myself when that
Okay.
came out. So
Makes sense. Okay. All right. Well, look at us sharing things. Matt,
so how was the new release last week, Chad, with it?
I mean, it came out like a month ago, and we've been playing it like we've been playing this thing like it's day one. But why don't you lead off on Zelda Talk this week, Matt?
I haven't really been playing it this week. But I've seen my son play it, and he got I don't know, I forget what they're called. Like they're like the divine beasts. You do that, you get the character to help you, their
Yeah,
abilities.
champions or whatever.
Yeah, so he got Tulin, he got the rock guy. Um but But yeah, he's been doing a lot.
Sounds like he's been doing the story, and I say ill. Why is your son doing the story? That's not what we're here for.
No, he's doing the story to get to those characters, cause but then like he unlocked the whole map. Then he got those characters. Now he's out just doing things to get new outfits and armor and things like that.
Okay. So I have been working on some armor. Like I just got the miner's armor, which basically is a suit that has lights on it, so that you are you familiar with the depths?
Yeah, I got last time I played, I got the pants by accident. I was just down there doing something else and I found the
Okay.
pants.
So like that's the very last thing I did. Like I got that armor, and like right now I'm gonna work on like filling up all 8 of my batteries, cause like
Mhm.
I still don't like the idea of building stuff like this. I don't like the idea. I don't like that they added Minecraft to this series, but it is nice to have your stuff run a little bit longer.
Um, I do like how they added the building stuff.
Who are you?
Um,
Who are you right now?
well, the thing is, because like I was like watching my son play, and I watched some YouTube videos where people building like transformers. I've seen somebody build a transformer before. I've seen somebody build a Jeep Wrangler.
That's
Um,
funny.
but like there's one guy, his name is like, damn, I should probably know his name. It was like Steve Plays, Mark Plays, or whatever. But he was like, yeah, the top 5 vehicles you need. And I was like, okay, because I got do you have auto build yet?
Yeah, I randomly got it because like I didn't do the mission for it, but I was doing some stuff, and I was talking to a guy, and he's like, "Here you go," and I was like, "Oh, thank you."
Right. So then like I just went and I followed that guy, and he showed me like the top 3 to use. So I made a land one, an air one, and I just kept that in there for whatever I needed.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I've seen some videos where they've been building that kind of stuff, and I'm like, I need to build that so I can save it, but I'm
But you
fine.
said you was gonna get your batteries up. How do you get more batteries?
So you know those zonite charges?
Hmm.
You have to turn those into these crystallized charges, and then you have to go to a refinery to get that built.
And okay, I know the little triangle type of
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
diamond
yeah.
shaped thing. Okay,
Yes.
so those are the batteries. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
all right.
But yeah,
I don't know. Maybe I'll hop on later on.
but yeah, we aren't gonna like belabor the point. We know y'all don't like Zelda talk, but that's for us, all right?
Now I will
Yeah.
say, being like, if you want to say the old dad version, kids these days,
These kids,
these kids these days have it so easy on trying to figure out
man.
how to beat these levels,
Mm-hmm.
while we're sitting back in the day, either one, asking our friends who already beat it how to do it, or two, waiting for the magazine to come out, trying to
Yep.
find the page and follow along like that.
Yeah, like
Uh-huh.
that's so when Matt and I used to work together, we were both playing Breath of the Wild at the same time. And it was those vibes of like you're talking to your friends like at lunch or recess or whatever, where Matt was all like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing XYZ," and I was like, "I'm doing ABC," and like we're playing the
Right.
same game and having different experiences, and he's telling me, "Oh, go here to get this armor or whatever, whatever." And so like that was like a cool,
Mhm.
like the game's so big that it takes you back to those days.
Right.
All right, because and who wants to? And none of us are doing the main storyline, so it's not like we're all doing this whatever side missions or whatever we want to do.
Right.
We want to be Superman when it's time to jump in on these.
Yes, these bad guys. Well, the
Yeah,
whoever the main villain is, I have no idea who the main villain is.
right, right.
But all right, funny we've gone 50 minutes, guys. This time's just flown by. But all right, that takes us to this week's discussion of Mr. Mom.
When his job pulled the plug on him.
I'm fine.
You son of a dude! They threw a switch.
Go, running late. Yeah, okay.
Good luck. And he became the lady of the house.
So this one's some shooting from the hip. Basically, Michael Keaton plays, what's his name, Jack? Some shit like that.
Oh, yeah.
Jack.
Yeah, he plays a guy who works with automotive industry. He gets laid off. His wife goes back to work, and they have like the whole dynamic shift of men do this, women do this. It's a bad 80s comedy bit. And, you know, hijinks ensue about, you know, their different roles in their marriage. So coming off of that, has anyone here seen this movie before?
Nope.
No.
Okay. I haven't either. 'Cause I wasn't really sure, like, oh yeah, someone's like, oh yeah, this is my shit as a kid, but okay. We're all coming at this with fresh eyes. Matt, why don't you tell me what you thought of this movie?
First thing is, I'm not used to seeing Michael Keaton young. It was weird seeing him young, like in a not a bad way, a uncomfortable way. I didn't. I didn't. It was weird seeing him do that. It's weird seeing him young. But overall, it's a 80s movie across the board. Do I like this movie? It's okay. I'm not gonna say I don't like it. It's maybe I don't like it as I'm talking this out.
Why don't we pause there?
It's okay.
Pause. We're gonna come back to you, Matt. Steve, what'd you think of this movie?
So going back to Matt's, it wasn't so much Michael Keaton that threw me off for being young. It was seeing Jeffrey Tambor and Christopher Lloyd being young.
Yes.
Ever since we knew those two, they have always been old.
Yes. The first time any of us have seen Christopher Lloyd, he's playing Doc Brown with all that gray hair.
Right.
Yes.
Or even if we want to go right around that time, like Angels in the Outfield, but that was also with grayish hair that he had.
Mm-hmm.
So, especially seeing Christopher Lloyd young, that threw me off just a little bit. Even though he was only in the movie for 10 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, I'm like, why is he? I thought he was going to be a bigger character.
And he got a main credit, too. Did you see
right.
that?
Yes. I was like, when it was on, it was like Christopher Lloyd. I was like, oh, shit, Christopher Lloyd in this? Let's go. And I'm like, cool. Okay, that's his first scene.
This other person, Jeffrey Tambor, Christopher Lloyd, and also including so-and-so. Like,
did you recognize the boss, the wife's boss?
Yeah.
I've never not seen him with glasses. It was so weird seeing him without glasses on.
And I've seen him with gray hair with his mustache.
That too. But I'm sorry, we got off track. So what'd you think of this movie?
I thought it sucked. I'll be completely honest with you. It was one of those. It was when I watched it on the kind of day I watched it. It was a Saturday, Sunday. It was a Saturday, Sunday, let me take a nap kind of movie. Because I think right about the 50-minute mark, I did doze off just a little bit, to be completely honest with you. But I knew this thing was going to be cheesy from the opening line when they were playing the elevator music for the saxophone for the, zooming into the house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yep, this is it. This is all 80s. This screams 80s. There is nothing more to be seen here.
So I got strong TV movie vibes from this movie when it started. I'm like, did this air? Did this not go in the theater? Like, what's happening here? But nah, I'm with y'all. I didn't like this movie either. Like it was giving 1980s, and we are in 2023, and I'm like,
and I mean that could have been the thing, but
I feel like that's a big part of it.
Like they labeled it as a comedy. I'm like, I didn't change my expression on my face once. I mean, where exactly was the comedy when he was, choking him out in the office? I mean, was that supposed to be funny, or where exactly is this?
I mean, 80s people, they thought a lot of shit was funny that wasn't.
I think I liked. I I like Joanne.
Was that the one that was trying to have
Yeah.
sex with him?
Yeah, that was like the
Right. It's like
homewrecker
Yeah.
chick.
even though that was her friend and she kept trying to go after her husband, I laughed at her antics. Like when they was playing poker and she was
Yeah.
like, "Are these cards any good?"
Right.
I thought that there was some interesting stuff with her, but they didn't really do anything with it. I'm not saying he should have had sex with her, but like I feel like that could have been a really interesting dynamic of the movie, as well as how I felt like they were doing too much with her boss trying to sleep with her. But
Yeah.
I have heard stuff where nowadays when you do the dynamic shift of like the wife works and you have a stay at home dad, that the wife starts to low key resent the husband. Like I would have liked for them to explore that.
They did a little bit when she was saying about how he always wears the same shirt. He's gaining
Yeah, gaining weight.
weight, but then like they didn't keep going on with it. So then like he eventually he had that I liked I'm gonna mention this. He was watching Young and the Restless. And
Yeah,
I
you
liked
can't
how
watch
it was actually Young and the Restless. Like Victor, he's actually on the
Yeah.
show. I liked how they used the actual characters on Young and the Restless.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, we don't really have a lot to say about this. So
Who
what?
would you like going back a couple weeks? I can't think of for the wife, but who would you recast for Michael Keaton?
Oh, you
Wait,
want
real
to
quick before we get there. One thing is, I didn't like how it just wrapped up at the end.
I hated that so
Right.
much.
Right, how like everybody comes back, oh, we need you, you quit. The boss shows up, and then it's just like, and then like as they're talking in the corner, they just sit down and all hug. Like I didn't like that.
Freeze
Like you
frame,
said,
high
that's like
five.
for a TV, yeah, a TV show
Everyone's
type of
jumping
thing
with
where
their
they just
feet back.
ended it.
Right.
Yeah.
So okay,
Yeah.
before we recast this, do you guys think that they could remake this now? Like, I the dynamic shift of like the HUD of a stay at home dad was novel in the 80s. That's not really novel now. So would there even be a point to remake this movie now?
If it did get remade, I think it would be more, on the TV side. Like, say for example,
It
like
would be
a
a
Lifetime or Hallmark or
no.
something along those lines.
It would be an eight
At least it's my
episode.
opinion.
It'd be an 8 episode Netflix show,
Right.
Steve. We already know.
Well,
Right.
you see what kind of credit I gave it, so
No, because majority of their
Antics.
their plot antics is just the husband. I mean, the wife and her boss. Maybe you could, but it's not going to be a comedy though.
I feel like if you do remake this movie, you should not set it now. Like, I'm not saying set it in the 80s, but like maybe just so that you have other stuff to bounce off of. Like they were talking about, like I didn't look it up, but I'm assuming there was a financial crisis in the 80s. Maybe have it set during the financial crisis of, what was that, 06, 07, 08, whichever the
something
one,
like that.
whichever that
Mid-2000s.
one. Yeah. Like have it then, where like he worked for like one of those big companies that like too big to fail, but they failed, and like the executives were like being indicted for shit. And so it's not just that he can't find a job. It's like he might go to jail too. So like he needs to like be cool and just sit his ass down.
So you're saying he's going to work for Enron is pretty much what you're saying.
Like one of those like where they were really like throw a little bit of like we were like up here like almost upper class with the amount of money he was pulling in, and now we have to like redirect our whole life situation as well.
Right.
All right, because then I mean that could work, because then you can have a like one of those people who have maids and everything else like that, and now they can't afford it, so they're not used to using a Rumbus or using this and this and this. Their tech screen blind and stuff like that. So now he has to figure out how to do that and stuff. So, I mean, it could work.
Okay, so my pick for Michael Keaton in our remake would be Glenn Powell. I could see him. He's got a look. He has a look. As for the wife, once more, it's 2023. We can't have, it has to be an interracial marriage. I'd love to say Ali Wong. I would, but I'll say that for Max. I know he's gonna say Ali Wong. All the roles for Ali Wong, right?
Hey, you don't want it to be Aquafina?
Why are you making why are you being that guy right now? I don't know.
But yes, I definitely Ali Wong.
Yeah.
So just because I think he can play a younger guy than what he really is, I would say Paul Rudd.
Okay.
The first name that came up to mind was Zach Braff.
Oh, are you doing Cheaper by the Dozen right now?
I don't know. I've never seen that.
They just remade it, and he was the dad, and Gabrielle Union was the wife.
Oh. Because the reason why, because I looked up Mr. Mom remake, and then apparently there was like a TV show, and like first glance as a poster of it, I was like, that guy looks like Zach Braff. It's not Zach Braff, but it's somebody else. But so that's what I thought was Zach Braff.
Wasn't it Zach from Saved by the Bell? Wasn't he on that?
I should actually click on it. Let's see. So it's from 2019, Mr. Mom TV show. Hayes MacArthur.
I don't know. I guess I should look it up. I guess I should look it up here for the audience. Mr. Mom remake.
I thought I did remember hearing an actual show.
Oh, ew. Who the hell is this dude? That's mean, but I'm gonna stick with it. History of the World Part 2, The Morning Show. None of this is looking familiar to me. He's on an episode of Key and Peele. Okay. Two episodes of How I Met Your Mother, an episode of Entourage, an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm. So that Mr. Mom reboot was his big break, huh?
Yes, so
11 episodes.
Oh, what's her name? I see her in things.
The mom, the wife,
Yeah.
whatever. Andrea Anders.
Yeah, I've seen her and stuff.
Let's see. So I was looking up a list of like women of color actresses, and a name popped up, and I'm like, that would be interesting. But then I'm like, she's like 50.
Who?
Regina King.
Mm.
Oh, here we go.
I got one for you. For the mom. But yeah, go ahead.
What's Jane the Virgin? Gina Rodriguez, is that her name?
Yeah.
That's who I'm casting as the mom.
Okay.
All right. What you got, Steve?
Since you said going the 2023 version, what about Tika Sumpter?
Oh, she did just get off playing a white man's husband in what was that?
Sonic.
Growing Up-ish? Wait, was that not her? And
No, she was in Sonic. She was the girlfriend or whoever in Sonic.
But wasn't she also on that the second spinoff of Blackish? Was that not her?
Looking, I've got to pull up looking because I couldn't remember her name either.
The Haves and the Have-Nots. Yeah, Mix-ish. She was the mom.
Mix-ish, yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right. She was married to Saved by the Bell Zach.
So, question: Did she in the White Dudes? That's two in a row. I'm not knocking it. I'm just curious. So I'm guessing this is her man's.
Mm.
Oh, hold up. Ew. Ew. Why is Tyler Perry at your wedding? Fuck that. That ruins the whole wedding.
I mean, does it? Think about the gift.
I could see him being cheap.
I mean,
All right, her husband is an actor of some sort. Do we know this man anything?
I've never heard of Nicholas James.
That looks like porn, but okay. Let's see. Nicholas James. Let's see here. Oh, he was. Oh, they must have met on Halves and Halves Nots. Did an episode of NCIS. I wonder how it is when like two actors get together and one of them is like grossly more successful than the other. Like I wonder how that dynamic goes. But okay, so Matt, who's your wife?
Ali Wong.
Oh, my silly behind. Why did I ask such a silly question?
Right. Yeah. I mean, you answered before. I mean,
I got thrown off. Okay. All right. Ali Wong for all the roles. Support.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What man doesn't joke about wanting to stay at home with the kids and shit, right? But like, do you feel like you could seriously do that?
No. I mean, yes, but I wouldn't want to.
No, not. Well, that's fair. That's fair. Okay. Steve?
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, like Michael King's character, I would always find something around the house to do. Either make it better in some sort of way or whatever. But yeah, I could definitely stay home, and especially with the kids at now's age, I don't think it'd be too bad.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if they like leave, yes, that's the best. But when they're little, put a gun in my mouth, please.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Yeah, the age of the kids, but I mean, like Steve said, yeah, I would like. I'm not a fixer upper type of dad, but what I'll be doing is we gonna get some good meals. I'm gonna be looking up meal recipes and things like that.
Now you're gonna accept the code of tickety talk.
Right. That's what I would do. I'm like, she the breadwinner. She gonna eat good when we at home. Ain't gonna be
You working extra late again with Colin? Okay. I like you, Matt. Like I wouldn't want to do it, but I could if I needed to. Like I fucking hate it when my daughter is sick, cause I'm the primary parent. So like if they're like, oh hey, your kid is sick, you need to take her out this daycare. I'm the first call, cause like I work from home. And so like I fucking hate it when she's sick and like she's here and like it's either I'm gonna still try and work but I'm not gonna work because I have to tend to her, or I take the day off and I'm like I don't want to be here, and I know you don't want to be here.
But do you think that's because of the age she is now?
Yeah, I do think that is a big part of it because like she can't do anything for herself for real.
Right. Because I know when I was a couple months ago when they were still in school, our youngest one got sick for like a day and a half or whatever, and luckily I was working at home at that time too. And he's 6, so really all I had to do was just put something on the TV. Here's some water. You need some snacks. All right, I'm going back to work, and pretty much had the whole day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
It was a little bit easier. So yeah, like man was saying, more based on the age, it would be a lot easier to be a stay-home dad instead of how his kids were like 2, 3, and 8 months or whatever it was.
Right.
Yeah, just always at home. I think like actually we followed them for like a year or something like that, because like the movie ended around like Halloween, but like at the beginning of the movie he was taking them to school, so like yeah, part of it he had them during the summer, double ill.
Right. But like also like a lot of that stuff that he was going through, I think a regular dad would do that. Like, you're not going to have trouble grocery shopping. You should
Yeah.
you
Oh my God.
you shouldn't have trouble using the washing machine. Now the pickup car thing, sure. If you've never done it before, sure. When you drop your kids off, you might pull in the wrong lane, but then the next day you're gonna be good on that either.
Mm-hmm.
So like a lot of that stuff, a regular person wouldn't have a problem doing.
Yeah, I don't like that whole I'm a man. I can't. I don't know how the grocery store works. Like, sir,
Right,
I
come
don't know how
on,
those
bro.
laundry works.
Come on, bro. So you never had to run to your wife never asked you to go to the grocery store. You never went to the grocery store to grab something. Like, come on,
I
Right.
bro.
And
I
also,
would go
like,
to the grocery store in a second.
I
I just love going.
I know that was a thing, but it's like, why are you embarrassed to pick up some pads or some tampons?
That's that male mentality of the '80s. Like you coming at that from like a modern view.
But it's like I'm thinking about this. They know it's not for you.
But he's embarrassed because
He's embarrassed.
a man doesn't know anything about a period.
See, yeah,
That's
That,
not
like-
that's that '80s bullshit. We got rid of that shit in the early 2000s.
yeah, good. Get rid of all that, cause yeah. So like honestly, they're gonna have to change. The remake. They're gonna have to change the whole plots and stuff like that. I mean, I take that back. We could do it like we said. A rich person, probably doesn't go grocery shopping, and it's gonna be like, hey, where can I find the caviar or some shit like that? And yeah, something like that, and then maybe that could make it work. But yeah,
I mean, you got to think nowadays you're not really going grocery shopping because you got all those
Apps and
like
stuff.
pickup orders and yeah, like the what is it, like DoorDash apps and everything else. So you can just do everything on there. You don't even have to leave your car for real.
I mean,
Right.
but like if you are like isolated from like the common folk, you aren't really gonna think about those apps because your personal shopper gets that stuff.
Right.
What do y'all think the Rotten Tomatoes was on this movie?
I want to assume they liked this when this came out, but I can see that people like us watching it won't like it. So I'm gonna give it.
So stop for a second. So critic scores. There's 25 critics reviews. And this movie came out in 1983.
40.
I'll say 54.
Okay, we're gonna do this again. Don't go below 70%.
Eh,
88.
74.
What?
76% audience tomato meter. We don't normally do this, but I want you to guess the audience score. It's got over 25,000 reviews. Now this is going to be a mix of modern reviews.
45.
I'll go back to the original and say like 54.
57.
All right, that seems more like it.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Right. But it was a different time, okay? I'm gonna read this one trivia dump thing before I do the question for you guys. Cause like while I was watching this movie, I was fucking bored. And so I was just wondering things about the movie. I feel like this is fucking wild. And this could never happen again. This movie opened at number 13 at the box office. 4 weeks later, it was the number one movie in America for 5 weeks straight. The
What?
total box office of this movie was $65 million. If you convert that to 2023 money, it made $132 million.
What came out when it came out?
What came
It was
out with it?
13.
then number one somehow for 5 weeks and not 5 minutes.
It's first off, you got to remember, like, it's the 80s, right? Stuff stayed in the theater a lot longer.
Right.
Also, it may be word of mouth. Well, of course, word of mouth and things
That
like
too.
that. Yeah.
Let's see. All right, so this came out. So it came out on number 13. The week that it came out, Jaws 3D, it was on its first week in the theater. Number 3 in America, that was number 1 in America. Number 3 was Return of the Jedi after 9 weeks. Number 5 was Snow White, one of the Snow White re-releases. It was in the theater 2 weeks. Number 6 was Trading Places at its 7th week in the box office. Number 7 was War Games, 8 weeks in the box office. Number 8 was Octopussy, 7 weeks in the box office. 9 was Superman 3, 6 weeks in the box office. 10 was Flashdance, 15 weeks at the box office. 11 was Porky's 2, 5 weeks at the box office. Number 12 was the Twilight Zone movie, 5 weeks at the box office.
That's crazy.
So when it became number 1,
yeah, I was gonna say it's almost like what did it beat instead of what it was with.
So
what beat it?
When it shifted to number 1, it beat out Risky Business after 4 weeks, Easy Money after 2 weeks. Those were number 2 and number 3. Number 5 was National Lampoon's Vacation after 5 weeks at the box office.
Wow.
Return of the Jedi is still holding on at number 6 in the box office, 14 weeks now. So the movie that knocked it out of its number 1 place is a movie called The Big Chill. A group of 7 former college students gather for a weekend reunion at a South Carolina vacation home after the funeral of another of their college friends. I've never heard of this movie before. I don't know what this movie is. Can I see the cast on here? Cast information. No. Glenn Close and Jeff Goldblum, William Hurt, Kevin Kline. Yeah. This feels like a drama. But all right. Yeah. Oh, it's a comedy drama. But all right. I just thought that was really interesting. Like, I was just curious, like, the money it made, and then I was like, these numbers don't make sense. What is happening here?
Right.
But all right, this is the question I wrote. Michael Keaton turned down a role in this movie to star in Mr. Mom. Was it A, Big, B, Splash, C, Big Trouble in Little China, or D, Overboard?
Big.
For some reason, Splash is sticking out. I don't know why.
You are correct.
I'll go Splash.
You're correct, Steve. He did not take the that was Tom Hanks, right?
That's what I was like. I've heard of this.
So
It's a movie about a mermaid.
it's got maybe Tom Hanks and Bo Derek in it.
Yeah,
No,
Tom Hanks and
Daryl Hannah.
There I am. Damn it.
So funny enough, Ron Howard and Michael Keaton worked together on Gun Ho. Without looking it up, do you guys remember what this movie was about?
Nope.
So I thought it was really funny when Michael Keaton made a comment, like when he was getting laid off, about how like he would have to like help, like he would have to go to Asia or something. And basically the movie is his car company gets bought out by a Japanese company, and he's trying to get them not to shut down the American factories.
Gotcha.
So he made that movie in 86, and this movie came out in 83. Continuing with the trivia dump. Jack is the only male shopper in the entire grocery store. And Edie McClurg, who often appears in John Hughes movies. John Hughes wrote this movie. Has a cameo in the grocery store as the cashier.
Side note, real quick. I looked up Splash. I didn't know this. Maybe you did. Splash is notable for being the first film released by Touchstone Pictures, a film label created by Walt Disney the same year in an outfit to release Target. I didn't know that Walt Disney created Touchstone Pictures.
Yeah, It was when Michael Eisner. Oh, sorry. So Walt Disney died, and then like there was some. That's when the company took a nosedive. They even like had like his son-in-law running shit, and like that was stupid. But anyway, they hired an executive from Paramount who was Michael Eisner, and he came on board, and he was like, "We can't just keep releasing these family movies because like that's not making us any fucking money." So they created a new studio where like, because like you got the Disney brand, so it's like you can't release an R-rated Disney movie.
Right.
So that was the ideal of it.
Oh. Yeah, I did not know that.
But funny enough, that movie's on Disney Plus, and there's a famous scene where she is like shown with like there's like a butt shot, and on the Disney Plus version they covered it up with hair.
Oh,
Whose butt? The baby?
The woman. No, the woman. Daryl Hannah. No, we're talking about Splash.
Okay. Okay. Oh,
really?
Yeah. So there was a lot of controversy about that. Because, people hate it when you make adjustments to movies.
right.
But yeah, appreciate you coming out and spending Father's Day with us, Steve. Or do you guys have any plans?
At least not right now. I'm hoping just to relax all day.
Oh, no.
Me
your
too.
Your wife is not going to let you do that. All right, honey. We got all these things planned for you.
I'll do a follow-up for you to see what happens.
All right. You got any plans, Matt?
Not that I know of, but we'll see.
Yeah.
What about you?
There's a brunch at my sister-in-law's house. So that's all I know of at this time. Yeah.
Hopefully that goes good.
Fingers crossed. But yeah, seriously, thanks, Steve. And thank you for listening. Please rate, like, and review our podcast on your platform of choice. If you have any feedback, please email us at weusedtotalkpod@gmail.com. Follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at weusedtotalkpod. Follow me on Letterboxd at BOW1213 and Matt at Mr. King0257.
And like always, I don't know if this was a good episode. I don't know if it was a bad episode. But whatever you think about it, talk about it at work. Thank you for listening.